Hello, everyone. You are listening to the C Squared podcast with Corey and Curtis. Today, we are here with our co-host, Miss Aaliyah Day, and the metal queen, the legend herself, Miss Doro, has joined us again to answer all of our questions. So before we get started, I do just want to say thank you for joining us again.
Hey guys, yeah, it's awesome to be back. Wow, so soon, and it was great to chat before. So I'm excited.
We're definitely excited to have you.
Thank
Cool.
you.
Before Aaliyah asks her first question, Doro, can you just do a very, very brief background on who you are, just one more time, just the nutshell version?
Yes, yeah, I'm Doro Pesch, and I had many bands, and one band you guys might know, it was Warlock, and it was actually it became quite successful, and I did now 20 records, and yeah, we're just celebrating our most successful record, Triumph and Agony, and we have a Triumph and Agony live coming out end of September, 24th of September, and we are celebrating 35th anniversary, and I can't believe it. And I'm dedicated to metal and to the fans, and and I want to, I hope I can do it for the rest of my life, because that's what really makes me happy. And I was always a metalhead, and I'm still a big metal fan of many, many other great bands and, and musicians, and yeah.
Awesome. You're up, Aaliyah.
Shall I go?
Yeah. You're up.
Well, Doro, thank you for coming on. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Aaliyah. What a nice name. Wow.
Thank you. When I was listening to the last episode, I noticed you just have so much positive energy. And I was just wondering if you feel like there's any lifestyle choices that you've made throughout your career to help you stay positive and high energy. You seem like you might even have more energy now than you did in the 80s.
Yeah, Aaliyah, I think you might be right, because in the 80s, I was like, I was a rebellious teenager. I was pretty much, always angry, more, like, I guess, maybe more aggressive and stuff. But I think, like, this time and age, that's definitely, like, we all have to stick together. So I'm really here to make people happy, to empower people, and to give out good energy, and even in the music, I started, writing really like dark lyrics, and I changed my mind about it about 20 years ago, and I wanted to do, cool metal lyrics, but in a positive way, which is quite difficult, because it's much easier to write something really, really destructive, that goes like quick, but to write something positive, which is still like, sounding cool and meaningful, that's a little bit harder, but I definitely feel that's the way to go, to make people happy, and that makes me happy. And I always wanted to do, music, and wanted to be a singer since I was 3 years old, and I think it makes me really happy that I always try to keep at it, to believe in it, and and to work hard at it, and and I always wanted to stay in music, so I tried everything, and it always went up and down, so you just have to hang in there, always try to give your best, and and that really makes me happy, like doing something for other people, that makes me happy, and rocking out, and enjoying metal, and and I think choices, when I started out, I always had, like, I love leather, and then a while ago, I was conscious about how it works, and then I thought, oh no, I don't want to wear any real leather anymore. So it's all artificial leather. I think it looks just as good, and no animals had to be killed, and nobody got harmed. And that started, I think, 20 years ago, and I became vegan, the last few years. And I think it's even like it's good for your body, for your skin and stuff. I feel it's good. And and I feel better that, that I don't, that I don't like harm, animals. So that's like the main reason. Of course, I love to eat like, real hamburgers, but not anymore. And it was not easy. Like the first couple of years, I thought, oh, it's the same like giving up smoking. Like at first you miss it, and then it's okay. And and being vegan, I'm really happy with it. But I don't want to tell anybody what to do. Everybody needs to needs to decide. But I feel it's like, man, it, it it's so cruel, how it all works. And so and the more I knew about it, the more I was seeing, the more I was reading about it, I thought, oh no man, it's I don't want to, be part anymore in like in the cruelty. And
Yeah, that's really cool. It's interesting to hear about lifestyle shifts like that.
yeah, I never thought I would do it. Like when I was 16, 17, 18, I wasn't conscious, I wasn't aware, but the last few years. And and then actually I met people, fans, friends, and and they told me about it. So I got like and and then when I first found out how it all works, then man, I couldn't sleep for days. And I still, like, when I see stuff, then and I love animals so much, and I grew up with dogs and horses, and I miss not having animals in my life, but it's impossible when you're on tour all the time. That's like you can't have animals. So I'm involved in people who save animals out of bad situations, and take care of animals. So that makes me really happy. And
Awesome.
Cool.
That is amazing. And just like you're doing right now, I know you've probably done like thousands of interviews in your career. Since the majority of our listeners are like new and younger bands, do you have any tips for them on how to do an exciting interview, or how to get over the nervousness of doing interviews? Because when bands are getting started out, they're super nervous. So any tips would be great.
I would say, just be yourself, and just like you can always follow your heart. I think you can't go wrong. Just like say what you really feel, and and it will be good, and other people will pick it up. And I'm always nervous before I go on stage. It's like terrible. It never went away. I was always like, I have so much stage fright, and it got a little bit better, but it's still always there. And I think maybe it's just a sign that you care, you want to really do a good job. So so I guess it's not even bad to be nervous. Like you just want to like do your best. So I always feel, for example, the stage fright when I hop on stage, when I sing the first line, then everything is okay. Before, it's totally, oh God, my heart is pumping, I'm nervous and stuff. But then when I'm on stage, everything goes away, and I can do what I love to do. And I guess that's the same when you do an interview. Before it's like, oh, and then when you do it, when people are cool, that's then it's actually, I think everybody, has something exciting to say, or talk about, your own record or song. That's always, something where you know exactly what you're talking about. So I think that's good. And when there are subjects you don't know so much about, then maybe, shift the conversation in something where you can shine, or can say something nice. And,
Totally.
That's really good advice.
Totally. Before Leah asks her follow-up question, I actually had one follow-up for you, Doro, if I can. So just with regards to the interviews, like, is there like a method that you use of making sure that you feel like you're positive each time you do one? Like, because I would get drained.
Oh, no, actually, I love talking about music, and that's so great. And then I really appreciate when, when people are, asking about whatever the song, the record, the gig. And I think that's so exciting. If you would want to talk to me about like normal stuff, like, I have probably nothing to say, like, what normal people do, like, I don't know. And, it's like, but as long as it's exciting, music or other bands or, then I'm always on fire. And when I can talk about the band or the fans or the songs, there's nothing better for me. That's, I love it. I love it. So, I never get tired of talking about it. Mm.
Good. All right, Aaliyah.
Yeah. Doro, I heard some stories about your lyrical inspirations, that you had a song that was inspired by a Ouija board experience.
Yeah.
Can you tell us that story?
Yeah. Oh, actually, I tell you, the end of the story was we had to move out of that apartment because we played the Ouija board so much and all kinds of things happened. And the last time we really played it was like, I asked, it was actually my producer and a close friend of mine. And then I said, hey, I don't believe that, that it's really true. And I think you are moving the board. And Joey is his name, Joey Ballon, the producer. And he said, no, man, I'm not. And I said, I want to know for sure what's going on. And I said, well, can you ask this ghost or spirit where it is in our room, in our apartment? He said, oh, okay, I can try. So he was asking. And then nothing happened, but dead silence. And then suddenly it was on the board like piano. And I thought, oh my God, we had a baby grand piano in our left corner. And I thought, oh man, that's scary. And then I said, well, Joey, can you ask the spirit if he can play a note? And Joey said, oh man, I don't know if that's allowed. You have to be very respectful doing that. And I said, oh, please ask. He said, okay, I will. So he said, please, spirit, whatever, can you hit a note that we know it's really you? It's, make yourself, known. And then we looked at the piano, nothing. But next to the piano, there was a steel guitar, like a guitar. Joey loved this guitar. He never played it. It was just like more like a show guitar. And, it was next to the piano, and suddenly somewhat, I'm not making it up, but something was playing a chord, like dum 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 dum. And I started screaming. I was so shocked. And we always played it at night, and the candles were flying, so the apartment almost burned down. I was running out of the apartment and screaming, because I was like so shocked. And Joey was running, behind me, said, Doro, you can't scream, even it's New York City, but the police will come and we will be, in so much trouble. So we went back into the apartment, and luckily it didn't burn down, but it burned a couple of things. That was the last time we did it. And I tell you, I wouldn't recommend it. It was like, it really works, but I don't know, you're probably, dealing with like energies and stuff you can't control, you can't handle. But before all that stuff happened, we tried it many times. And then I said, hey, Joey, can you ask if this spirit has a message for me? And then it was Doro, Make Time for Love. And then we had our first ballad for this album, Triumph and Agony. And it felt really good. And I thought, wow, and I still didn't follow that rule. I still didn't take a break ever, didn't do a vacation, didn't make time for anything. But we wrote this beautiful ballad. Yes.
Wow, what a story. Yeah, I would never mess with a Ouija board personally, but that's a really wild story.
When you're young, it's so exciting. And I think it was forbidden in Germany. I am from Germany, and when I came to America, Joey showed me all kinds of things, and I was curious. And as a teenager, of course, when something is forbidden, you definitely want to do it. So, but it was like, wow, it was a little bit overwhelming, and yeah. Sure. But I know young people love doing that stuff, so yeah.
Yeah, I think I got my first Ouija board when I was 16. So you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about, and it's
Yeah.
it really is like mind blowing, and yeah, but yeah, but I actually I got a phone call from my manager, and he got somebody did contact him, and it was a very wise woman, and she was a fortune teller in LA. And and she told Alex, she said, there's a person around you, she's in really danger, in life danger. And Alex said, really? And she said, yeah, the first letter is D. So he knew it was me. He said, oh God, it can only be Doro. And then we flew actually from New York to LA. And and then she said, Doro, you have to really like you shouldn't do it anymore. Whatever you're doing, stop it, because you can't handle it. And and she said, I'm a trained one, I know how to handle things. And she said, but you're a young girl, you have no experience, so please stop it, you will be in real danger. So I stopped everything, like even good things. Like I knew a lot about all kinds of stuff, and sometimes I was sad that I gave up everything, but I guess maybe it was for the better. Yeah. Who knows? Yeah.
So Corey, you got the final question.
Oh, I was gonna see if you had a follow up before I ask the most important question of the whole interview.
Well,
Okay.
I don't, unless Aaliyah has a follow up question.
Well, this is an interesting topic, but I don't know how much time we have. So
We've got about 10
Go ahead and
minutes.
ask it. My question
I
will
have
be
10 more minutes. I think I have 10 more minutes if you guys want to ask some more. Yeah.
What do
um,
you got, Aaliyah?
question, Aaliyah.
oh, it wasn't really so much of a question, just yeah, I mean, it sounds like you might have some do you consider yourself a spiritual person?
Yeah. And yeah, and actually before I started music, I was for a whole year, I was so ill, I was close to dying. And ever since I had this experience, I must say, I pray a lot too, especially in like, when you feel, man, it's a real dark, desperate situation. So yeah, I always call on the angels, on the archangels. Yeah, I pray a lot. And sometimes I pray for other people. Sometimes people call me up and they say, hey, Doro, can you pray for my whatever, for my boyfriend or for my brother or for my sister, especially when people are, like when they're sick and stuff. And I always believe, man, it can't hurt, like, and it's always, I think, it's just like spreading, good energy. And I think, I would, yeah, I do it so much. But I really, yeah, I saw some magical things happen. And I think, yeah. So yeah, but it started when I came to America. Before, I didn't have any clue, and I didn't have any connection. But then when I was actually in America, because it was so much easier, everybody said, hey, yeah, God bless you, and I love you. And it was so much, yeah. And
Such a part of the culture here, yeah.
Yeah, and I love that. Even when you see a Grammy Award or Oscar Award, everybody said, oh, first of all, I want to thank God, I want to thank Jesus, And I thought, wow, and at first I thought I was, wow. But now I know what they're talking about. And yeah, I love praying, even sometimes before a show. And yeah.
Well, it probably just helps you focus and center yourself.
Sorry?
It probably just helps you to focus and center yourself before a show.
Yes, and I always feel there's a lift, a support. And yeah, I always feel like, yeah, there's like lots of good energy. And then yeah, even sometimes in the studio, or when there's an important song, when I say a little prayer, then I think, yeah, it's like, has more spiritual power and more love, maybe. It's like, yeah.
Very cool. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you for asking that. Yeah, I know everybody is things different and stuff. But for me personally, I think, I many experiences that something changed for the better, which, at first you thought, man, no way out, and and then there was a solution suddenly, and I don't even know how it came about, but I think that's probably the power of God and, and the angels and all that good stuff.
I had a quick follow-up on that, Doro, before Corey gets to her final question here. Assuming this is the final question, but anyway, so just to the topic of the spiritual type thing, do you kind of feel like that kind of gets into your music in any way, like what you're talking about?
Like I have many angel songs, like, Walking with the Angels. There was a duet with Tarja Turunen, or like an Angel, or Angels Never Die. There was one record, it was the title of an album. And on the last album, the album Forever Warriors Forever United, there's one song, it's called Lift Me Up. And Lift Me Up has such a good energy. Every time people listen to it, they feel like, they feel, empowered. And so certain songs, they're definitely inspired. And I have a great guy in Nashville. I wrote many songs with him. His name is Gary Scruggs, and he's deep, he's awesome. And we wrote one song, it's called Even Angels Cry, on this album True at Heart. And I thought, that has so much angel power. It's like, certain songs, they're inspired by that.
Cool. Okay, I think I've got all my follow-ups. Leah, you good? Cool. Corey, others before the last one?
The most important question of the interview: what is your favorite dinosaur?
A T-Rex.
Excellent choice. It's a classic.
And I tell you, I was a big fan of the band T-Rex and Mark Bowen. He was one of my total absolute heroes. And I thought he was awesome. And he's not anymore with us, but for young people who have never heard of him, Mark Bowen was like definitely somebody to check out, and big inspiration, and cool as hell.
Definitely. Cool. Does anybody have follow-up questions for Doro before we end off?
I think I'm good on my end.
Yeah,
Cool.
me too.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Doro. And with that, party on.
Party on, guys.
Yeah.